I think that's because I was talking to Carla last night, and then after talking to her, then I was like, okay, I need to decompress, and so here we go, going live, and it's live, perfect. So that's going live, and let me get on to
Okay, I got you on YouTube.
okay, and
Looks like TikTok started.
okay. Let's see. Yep, I'm seeing us on TikTok. Find live creators follow. Find live streams from creators you follow above. Oh, okay. And then let me.
Hi all.
Just got to get my. Um, what is it? The chat. Oh, there it is. Chat and chat settings. And where is it? I forgot about this last time. I was like trying to figure out how to make the chat box come out so I can see it as like a separate window, which is what I did last time. Let's see. There it goes. Customize launch.
Hello, people popping in. Seeing
Um,
some old familiar names. Not old. I don't know if you're old. Some familiar names. Happy to see you again. Fernie yelled at me last time I was talking too much, so
no.
particular about my answers tonight.
No. Let's see.
I was a little salty last week. I'll try to be good. I'll try to be good.
Mm-hmm. Where's this? Come on. Where's the? Huh? How do I get to the chat? No, that's not it. Wait. New window.
Thank you all for bearing with us as we get the, or as he gets the tech worked out.
Yeah, just working out something that I keep forgetting how to do.
Yes, absolutely, AB. Fernie is normally the talker. It's true. On and off camera. You know what I'm saying?
Font. Why is
Let's see. I think Shop the Hot Teas. Is that Ray? I feel like that's Ray because I only know one person who calls us Ferniekins and Blaney-kins.
that's Ray?
That's Ray.
Let's see. Where is the chat box?
Hello, everyone. Popping in.
Oh my god. What is going there?
There.
There. Oh, there it is. TikTok live monitor. No, I need the box, the chat. Hmm. Hey everybody. Hello. I'm seeing y'all. We see
Hello.
y'all. We see y'all. Um, I'm just trying to work out a quick tech thing, and then I'll pay attention to y'all. Um, chat settings.
Well, I guess while he's working on that, I'll do the usual plugs. So if you're obviously all following him, but I'll be real needy and I'll be like, please follow me at Blaine Reads Tarot on all of the socials. And if you want to visit my website, blainepatricksmith.com, you can connect with me there. You can sign up for my newsletter. I'll also way up top there, up 2 boxes, Fernie's book. I'm almost done with it. I'm loving it. I was actually telling him, a dear friend of mine, I've been thinking about her. She moved away a few months ago. And I've been thinking about her, that we need to set up a phone call or set up a Zoom or something. And so I've been thinking about her all week. And then I was working out yesterday morning and I saw that she posted a story on Instagram. Like, I need to remember to call her today and then, or text her today. And as I was working out, she texted me. So I was telling Fernie about that. I was like, yes, we telepathied each other. He's like, just like in my book. I was like, that's exactly right. That is from your book. So you can find his book on Amazon. You can find it on his website. We'll take you to the links. Hardcover, paperback. It's a very easy, fun read, and I've learned a lot about it, and I learned a lot about him. So that's me plugging his business. So it's not a huge book. So those of y'all who haven't picked up a book in a while, it's not cumbersome. Um, I was with coffee with a friend today who just joined the book club I'm a part of. And he's like, "This is the first book I've read in years." It wasn't a good book that we read, by the way, but seeing people pop on. I don't see you on Instagram yet.
We're not on Instagram.
I don't. Well, I don't know. Let me reload it. Oh no! Wait, never mind. Just needs to be reloaded. Oh no, no, that's just your story. Maybe I can't do. Hmm. Oh no, you're on Instagram. Sorry, babe.
Okay.
My bad. I just don't have. I've got TikTok going on my phone down here. I've got a second laptop here with YouTube. Uh, because I am not tech savvy.
Yeah, last week I was able to like get a chat box that was like separate, and I don't know what I'm not doing today. Let's see how to have a separate chat box.
Oh, if you see something flash across my screen, I have a stick of incense right down here. So you're potentially just catching a wisp of smoke. That happened to me in another live stream, and people thought I had ghosts and spirits right with me. It is just incense.
Okay.
And it's in a fancy bowl I made. Well, I didn't make the bowl, I painted the bowl.
Download chat client or launch in browser appearance under the appearance tab in your Restream chat settings. You can change how the
They're
chat
crafty.
is your Restream chat. Set up the Restream chat OBS. Adding a chat overlay.
All right, y'all. Once Brittany gets this up and going, I'm seeing some questions come in. We'll start doing some readings.
Restream Studio. Read appearance, notifications, embed, stream, reply, bot analytics. Man, I'm gonna have to like write this down because I'm like, what in the world? Like, it was so easy last time. I was like, oh, just click this. There it is. There it is. There it is. And then that was it. And I don't know why it's not the same process. Maybe it was the TikTok Live monitor.
Hello, hello, everyone. I'm seeing the comments on the different ones. Thank you for joining us. We'll get some readings here shortly. Maybe did you finish doing your taxes, or what's going on over there?
What?
I said you finished doing your taxes, or what's going on over there?
I did. I did. I did. Pinche. Okay.
I'm sorry, what are you calling me?
I said pinche.
Who does that? Who does that, audience? He throws out Spanish words that I don't know. He throws out Spanish slang. He just like mumbles it, and I have to figure it out by context. And I have figured out by context a lot of it is not too nice.
245 245 030.
Do I know how Olivia is feeling without Mama Cat? I think she is. I think she knows something is different, and it sounds like she's been up Fernie's butt since, like always around, and when he leaves for long periods, she'll be at the door when he gets back.
Yes.
And so she's adjusting to it. It's Olivia's only been on this earth a year and a half, and so most of that was with Mama Cat. So the house feels different, I'm sure.
It does feel different. It does. I mean, I still like my best friend. So yeah, I figured it out. Yeah, it's like I don't know why I was trying to do it on Restream. It wasn't on Restream. It was on TikTok. I was supposed to do it through TikTok. So that's what I was supposed to do. And so that was the issue. Okay. Hey everybody. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, my BFF, she had to put her dog down yesterday as well. So that was rough because I just had to put Mama Cat down a couple of weeks back, and then now my best friend has had to put her dog down, and her dog, she's had her dog for almost 10 years, a little maybe a little over. So it's like both of us going through something really similar with losing our babies. So that's been a process, which has been sad. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, um, hey, Ray Ray. All right, so now I'm seeing everything and everybody. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna have to get the new. Yeah, I totally get the new book. I don't even know. It's over there. It's right here. Like it's right. It's there. It is. It's
No,
right
other
there.
side. Here you go.
Yeah,
Oh, the reverse
right
reading
there.
is hard for you too.
My book. It's right there. Um, get it. It's really good. I like my own book, so that's a good thing. I didn't just write it for the hell of it. I actually wrote it for myself. So, because when I was figuring things out in the beginning stages of my developing my abilities and I was having all this stuff happen, I didn't know what was going on. And it took a long time for me to understand things and to read and to like figure things out, not only through experience, but also seeing others as well and what they were going through. And so I use this book as a way of kind of giving, if I were going to go back in time and help myself to understand this quicker and to be faster. Hey, Olivia.
Don't speak of the
Olivia.
devil there.
She's in Ray Ray's bed because it's like I put it on the shelf because I was like, okay, how do I get this on my desk? And it can't. So she's over there. Hey, what are you doing? Um, so I wrote it for myself so I would have an easier time of understanding things. And that's now what it is. It's basically my cheat book for how to develop your own abilities. Uh, Dragon Pizza. Hey, Josh. Hey, yeah, I was like I remember being excited. I was probably a little stoned, but that's all right. Like it's always great to be in that ethereal space and so forth. So I almost went to the gay rodeo in Santa Fe this weekend, but then I decided not to because it didn't look like they had a whole lot of like um I wanted a lot of food. Like I mean, I'll go to the event just to like see, but I want food, and I didn't feel like there were going to be enough food vendors. So I was like, nah. I was like, I'll just hold off because I wanted to go eat. But uh, all right. So we're gonna try something slightly different, but yet slightly familiar. You can still ask your psychic questions, and I can answer those. Or if you want to connect with the loved one in spirit, don't tell me all their information. I don't need all that. Just who do you want to connect to? Do not give me their name. I just need the connection. I would like to connect to my father, please. That's what I mean. Not, I would like to connect to my Aunt Sophia. She was born in Mississippi. I hated her guts. She had cancer. Like, I don't need all that. I just need you to tell me who you want to connect to, just the basic part of that, so that I can understand where you want me to intend to connect, and then try to make that connection. And then I'll respond back here. If you are not going to stick around, because you're going to get bored and you already know yourself, I don't know why you're asking questions to begin with. So don't waste my time. Don't waste Blaine's time because I don't have time for it. So if you're going to
Wow.
stick around and wait for your answer, or you just want to be involved with the chat and the conversation that we're going to have, go ahead and put your question and we'll try to get to as many of them as we can. Like I said, if you want to ask a psychic question, you can. If you want to ask for a connection with a specific person in spirit, don't give me all their information, just the basic connection, like the basic idea of who they are. Like, I would like to connect to my father, please. That's what I mean by the connection. If you want some advice around a situation you're dealing with, we can do that. You might not like my answer. I'm pretty sure you'll love Blaine's answer, but you won't like my answer because I'm a bitch. But that's okay. Sometimes we need to hit it hard, right? And if you would like just a message through tarot around a topic, like if you want a tarot message around love or around marriage or around relationship or around like finances, you can ask for just that. And then Blaine can give you some guidance around that. If you're just dealing with something and you want some advice from people who might be able to tell you what the hell may help or how to deal with the issue. You can also just, what's your issue? Like, what are you struggling with? Because I kind of want to open it up to all kinds of opportunities for y'all to get help or support in however we can help you and support you. I'm the psychic medium, and Blaine is the tarot specialist. He's also a transformational coach, which means that he can help you work on things that you want to work through. And he's really good at guidance and support in that way. And also his job is to empower you. My job is just to like show you the mirror and just say, bitch, why are you being stupid? Like, that's my job. Blaine's job is to try to empower you. So we're two different people, personalities here. But we're a bag of mixed goods, and that's all right, you know? So, yeah. All right. So so if you want to set up a private appointment, go to my website, fernandomarone.com. It's right there. If you want to get my book, it's right here. It's right here, right there. Go to Amazon. It's the easiest way to get it. You can go everywhere else, but it's easiest on Amazon. If you want to book a session with Blaine, right here, down here, patrickblainesmith.com. What?
Blaine Patricksmith.com.
What did I say?
You said Patrick Blainesmith.
Did I say that? Oh, really? That's funny. Patrick Blainesmith.
Right.
Look at.
Oh, folks! I'm glad you missed. I'm glad you're here for that one.
Oh, BlainePatricksmith.com. And the at Blaine Reads Tarot also is his handle on Instagram and on TikTok. So follow him on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. Yeah. I'm about to put out my newsletter because we're at that time. We're at the end of the month, and so I'm about to send my newsletter out. He's about to send his newsletter out also.
No, I sent mine out last week.
Oh, you put it out? Well, what was it for?
Wow. So here, folks, is where I send it to him. He's on my list, and it clearly left such an impact on him, even though the top part of it, for those of you who have it and got it, was about him. And this bitch didn't even remember what it was about. So I'm going to let you root through your email at a later time.
I thought that was more of an update, a life update. What was my last newsletter about, babe?
I don't know. You rambled on for a long time as usual.
Wow. Oh. Wow. Ain't the kettle. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's not an
I will take a moment, y'all. I would like to publicly acknowledge how much I love and appreciate this man. He has a lot of patience with me. He also is very good at communicating his needs and also making me aware of things that I'm not always aware of. So I want to just say thank you, babe, for being great. Is that supposed to be a halo?
I don't know. What are you talking about? What are you seeing?
Thank you, baby, for being patient with me and for putting up with my shenanigans. And for any non-Latino person out there who wants to be in a relationship with a Latino, you just need to be prepared for everything that involves, because we're next level extra in the best of ways.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get into some of these. We are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I will try to connect with people on all 4 platforms, so don't think I'm going to be just focusing on one. I know some of you are like, read me. Like, that's great, but you don't just tell me to read you. What the hell do you want help with? Oh, here's a good one. So Mermaid. So she has been thinking about starting a business on Etsy, like reselling vintage jewelry. Should I go for it? What's the energy look like for her around business? Or
okay, so I'm gonna do the pre-card advice, and then we'll pull a card and see what the cards say. But the pre-card advice is, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
like you have an interest for it, you have a passion for it. Yes, the starting a business, part of it can be kind of annoying, and God, something really heavy is driving next to my apartment. But like, start it. If you have a passion for it, how else will you get it out there if you don't? And so my just pre-card answer is, yeah, do it. What do you have to lose? So wait. Yes, Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Go out and do it. See, see, it can be really rewarding and really fulfilling.
Yeah.
So yeah, go out and do it. Look at that. Also, mermaid glam. Look where we are, right on the
That
ocean.
is actually that
So,
is. It does look like it looks like a mermaid's tail out of the water and coming down, and then the cups are right there.
oh yeah,
Like,
a little bit,
yeah, I love that.
yeah. Like, do it.
Hmm.
And I mean, for instance, this was a gift from a friend of ours for my birthday,
So I'm
and
glad you brought that up. I'm glad you
yes,
brought that up because that kind of feeds into my answer. So what I was thinking is that I thought she would start it around the idea of reselling vintage jewelry because she might be too lazy to make her own. But at some
oh, I'm
point,
sorry, it did say reselling. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
But at some point, I see that. See, you were already picking up on what I was picking up on because I kept thinking that she was going to start doing reselling vintage jewelry, but then at some point she was going to be inspired to create her own, and then she would start to do her own stuff as well as vintage pieces, and then she would take pieces of old vintage, like she would take old vintage pieces of jewelry and then modify them with her own stuff as well. So I kept seeing her mixing it and kind of going that angle with it. So when you were saying that you saw her, like Joe, the piece of jewelry that he just showed y'all, that's from our friend Joe. She made him that for his birthday, but she makes her own jewelry. And so I kept thinking that at some point you were just going to get, you know, inspired and want to make your own stuff.
Also, mermaid glam. And I'm not flicking you off. I got this ring on it. So I got this piece in Santa Fe the week I
Yeah.
met Fernie, and I love the turquoise, and so I wanted something, and so I bought several things on Etsy
Yeah.
jewelry, and I love it. And there's been some few. Yes, I'm turning into an old Santa Fe white woman professor. Like I'm gonna be the next time you see me, it's gonna be all sterling silver and turquoise. Excuse me. But I saw many pieces that I really loved on Etsy, so like do it. I have
Hmm.
a friend now who is like trying to do a candle store. I think he's going through Shopify, but it's the whole thing like it does, yes. If
It's
you're feeling
work.
some frustration around the work of it and setting up
Yeah.
of it, there are people out there who can help you with that side of it. Do you have
Yeah.
friends or family that can support you in that way? But like, come on, do it.
Yeah.
Yes, do it. Sometimes we just need someone to tell us to do a thing we want to do. And so I'm
Hmm.
telling you, do it.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, oh, here's a good one. Let's see. Ah, let's see. Okay.
Oh, yes, Mermaid Glam. I see your reply. Yes, of course you're welcome, babe. Go do it. And
What did
come
you?
back and let us know when you do. And
Yeah,
you
and we'll
know,
promote.
and especially if you're selling vintage turquoise, I will eventually every finger will have them.
All right, we got one from Buddy here. He's like, "What's
Okay.
next for me in my spiritual development?" So, what's going on with his spiritual development? Hmm. Hmm. Spiritual development.
You got anything, babe?
Yeah. Um. I get a sense that, like, so here's the thing, Buddy. I think that you have gone through a few metamorphoses where you have switched over from a more rigid faith into something that's got more freedom to it, but it may have still stuck to some of those traditions. And then at some point, I feel like you're just going to have to drop it all and kind of not necessarily start from scratch, but you might have to stop using an old system to work with what you're becoming, with who you are. Because, and I can identify with this years ago. I mean, I grew up Catholic, and in the Catholic faith, I mean, the focus is on the saints, Jesus, like all of the above. But it is a very structured system and belief system. And it's not always easy to fulfill the demands of that system. Over time, like I kind of moved away from the idea of being Catholic, and I'm no longer a practicing Catholic. I appreciate the tradition because it's what I grew up in. I have associations and memories affiliated with that, but I don't consider myself Catholic. I actually don't consider myself Christian either, because Christ wasn't Christian, right? Um, Once I started to give myself freedom to just study the different faiths, and then I opened up to my own beliefs and started having a more direct conversation with the universe or with God or with Source, I actually started to get more validation. I started to see more magic in my life, and I started to get better guidance. Not only guidance from things that were showing up in my life that were obviously pointing me in a specific direction, but also internally, like I was, my own abilities, intuitive abilities started to expand and to grow, because I started to believe at some point, thanks to Star Trek, I started to believe that I could be more than what I was told I was, and that I wasn't a bad person because I was gay or because I believed in spirituality or I believed in other things. And in doing so, it gave me freedom to explore myself, and in also researching and learning about other people and what they could do as well. What I've come back to in all of that is it doesn't really matter what you believe, it's what you feel an attachment and a connection to. That's why you can use a stick and have the greatest power in the world with this one stick, or you can use a tarot card that helps to validate and helps you to understand information, or you can use crystals, or you can use an actual religious belief system. It comes down to what you believe and what you feel empowered by, but don't limit yourself to the old structure that you might still feel very connected to and may be overshadowed by in your own work as a spiritual practitioner.
Oh, I dropped it. Oh, I was waiting so patiently.
Ah,
Oh my God. It's the
magician.
Magician.
Yeah.
Buddy, this is the best card for you. So this is all about beginnings. This is all about that you have all of the things at your beck and call that you need. And following up of what Fernie was saying, this is about being the magician is in
Mm,
control of the elements, so all the elements, all of his own elements, spirits, earthly elements. So this is your opportunity. Your development is break things down into their essential elements. Don't worry about dogma. Don't worry about what is it that what is I mean, he literally said it. What is it that you can make magic out of? And you have the powers, you have the gift, you have the willpower, you have the creativity to pursue the spiritual path
mm,
where you can make the most magic. So, and it may not be a way. So even in like we don't know what your spiritual tradition is. Maybe you're coming from a completely different background, and or, maybe coming from a very dogmatic background like Catholicism, and
mhm.
moving into something else. The Magician is also it's something else. So
Yeah.
maybe a walk in the woods. Maybe you'll go the old Druid method where you reconnect to the earth in that way. But you're gonna find your own path, and you're going to figure out, you're going to experiment, you're going to find what works. Do I believe that picture cards are magical? No, I don't. Do I believe that they can bring the things out of us that we need to see, and that that's because it exists in our mind and our spirit, that is magical? Yes, I do believe in
Yeah.
that. But good luck. It feels like it's really fun. And also, the Magician is about beginnings. It is the beginning of a journey. So I love that. It's going to be a great path for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? One thing that I've noticed recently, in something that I'm feeling affirmed in, is when I'm scrolling through stuff, and of course the algorithm on TikTok or whatever is going to pick up whatever you're like prone to watching or looking at. She's playing around. Um, I've been seeing a lot of these like validations and these like special messages for Tauruses. Like right now is like, even though like we're in whatever season we're in, I feel in my life that there's been this transition and this big shift that's really started at the beginning of the year, but it really started to hit me hard, and I became very aware of it in July, especially when I was in Portland for the month. And I started to feel like there was a period in my life when I made big changes, and when I first moved here, which was about 8 years ago, so it was about a 7 to 8 year cycle. And there was a lot more alignment happening. There was a lot more. It wasn't just that there was a lot more alignment happening. It felt easier for alignment to happen. It felt easier for things to kind of to come into my life and to make things easier or smoother, or it made things more possible for me to be able to make big changes in my life, which ended up leading to me moving here, my business doing very well, me beginning the process of writing my book, all of these things. And so as we've come to the end of that cycle, last year kind of hit with a weird period around my mom and like old energy coming up in me and me like letting that go and healing a bunch of things that I thought needed to be healed. Thank you to this man for guiding me through that process. It helped me. I actually think he helped me more than my therapist did, even though I had a great therapist, but I actually think he helped me more than my therapist because I was really working through some stuff, especially with my mom. And in doing so, now it's like I feel like all of that drama and like remnants of old stuff has kind of cleared away. And even today, like I had a conversation with my mom and I wasn't really triggered and it was fine. It was like a short conversation, but I was like, okay, we're done. Bye. But I've been feeling this like ability to feel like fully aware again, and I'm expanding backwards instead of going into this retreat cocooning mode. I'm going back outwards and I'm expanding and I'm extending myself, and I'm starting to feel the need to connect with community and with people and with y'all. This is why I'm back here, because I was missing in action for a little while because I just couldn't. And now I'm like, I want to reach out again, I want to connect, I want to express. And not only that, I've got this like Taurus
Fernando
energy.
Moreau, we're doing quick answers tonight. We're doing quick answers tonight.
Oh yeah, I've got this energy that I'm like ready to like plow through the next period in my life and get things done. So I don't know if you're a Taurus and if you've been feeling that, but I've been seeing this repetitively on different things, and it's just validating what I'm feeling and what I'm starting to see in my life in every single part of my life, which I feel is moving in a really good direction and in a direction that I feel happier about now, because I was feeling kind of stuck there for a bit. So all right.
But
Thank you
buddy,
for
part of this is you get to make the choice. You choose what's next for you.
yeah.
It's not something that happens to you. You get to make the choices.
Yeah.
So, of course, we wish you a very wonderful spiritual journey. And thanks for asking the question.
This person is struggling with health and changes in their health. And what's the energy around their health?
Well, first, let's just say, sorry that you have been having health issues and sorry that it is worrying you. We hope it is something that is on the mend. I will ask around health anxiety.
Yeah. The energy.
Okay, so I love this card. I don't love it in this context for you. So this is the Knight of Coins, and look at this. Look at the image. So it's this strong little bear walking through this beautiful field, and he's walking uphill. So I want you to remember the strength of the bear. You are a big, strong creature. You're going to be going through the energy of this card is there is perhaps a long, arduous journey ahead of you. It's going to feel like an uphill battle, but that doesn't mean that you don't have control. And particularly, this is a earth suit, which is partly it is about our material environment. It is about our bodies. And since this is you're asking around health energy, this is it may feel like a long road at times, and it may feel like a slog. Part of the positive message in this card is that try not so it's hard around health because we want to feel healthy, we want to feel good, and we think that there is some magical future day when we're feeling fine again. Enjoy the journey. You don't worry about the destination. So I'm saying that it may be a long trudge uphill. It may feel like an uphill battle at times. Look around and smell the roses when you can. Enjoy it when, I don't know, let's say, let's say you're having joint or bone issues. Like the days that you don't feel as sore and you feel a little more, you can move around a little bit. Notice when those days happen, because that will make the days where the opposite feels true, where you feel a lot of pain and when we get in those days, it feels like those are their only days left. So it encourages you that it may feel uphill at times, but do try to enjoy the journey when you can. Partly if you notice when you're feeling good, it will help alleviate, it will help shorten, it will help weaken the days where it feels the overwhelming health issues can be overwhelming. It'll help combat that feeling if you remember this. And also remember that bear strength. You're a big, strong beast. You're getting there. You'll get there. It just may be an uphill battle. I don't know, baby. What are you seeing?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle because I actually think there's more than one issue that you're dealing with. You may need to go and get an allergy test because I feel like you've got some allergens that are affecting your system, and that's one issue that you may not realize is having an impact on your health. Specifically, I feel like in because when I think of this, I'm thinking of like the way that nutrients and things get into your system through food or whatever you're taking into your system, and then also it starts starting to create a response or a reaction. That's one thing. I also want you to pay attention to your environment because there may also be, I feel like you're being exposed to something that's like mold, or that almost feels like mold. Like whenever there's mold in a property or something is building up and it's creating issues. When I think of this, I'm reminded of an issue that happened with my ex once, where years ago when we were in our first house, um, he kept complaining about headaches and like he just didn't feel great. I felt fine, so I didn't think anything of it. Neither one of us ever smelt anything, but he would always complain that he just didn't feel right. And I I'm the kind of person, the way that I was raised, like stop crying, like stop making a big deal about nothing. Get going, like get on with it. And so I wasn't used to like bringing attention to things or making a big deal about things. And I thought maybe he's just being, maybe he's just being, maybe he's just making a deal about nothing. And it turns out he wasn't. We actually had a very subtle gas leak in the kitchen that went on for a long time because we had a really good air circulation in that house, and also the baseboards in the kitchen didn't have seals. It would pass through, so there wasn't enough of it building up to trigger like a freaking explosion. But it was such a small leak and it was contributing to him reacting in a way, and we didn't realize it. So what I would say to you is I feel like there's an allergen that you're having a response to, but that feels more intestinal, that might be reacting with your lymphatic system and causing an autoimmune response. But the other thing feels like this mold thing that you might need to look into. And so I would say those are some things to pay attention to, because I keep seeing that in my mind. I don't know if that's the issue you're asking about or the symptoms you're asking about, but I keep wanting to bring those two things up. They may actually be the same thing, and I'm just trying to like separate them into two separate issues. But I want to say that that's the vibe that I'm getting around that. So you may need to look into that. I do think it, and I agree with Blaine, it's going to be an uphill battle because the allergen part, especially if it's something you're ingesting, which I believe that is part of the issue, is going to require you to have to clean up your lifestyle habits, or like the way you eat and consume nutrients and things that you put into your body in a way that might be a little harder for you. It also
Yeah.
I've been having intestine issues that make sense. Yeah. So she just said, yeah. Yeah. So I've been having intestinal issues that make sense. Yeah. So I think that you're probably going to have to make some major changes with your lifestyle, but you need to get an allergen test first, because I feel like yeah, you need to get an allergen test. I think that'll make a difference, but you have to understand what you can and cannot eat. So, yeah.
And good luck to you. Feel better. We wish you well and wish you on the mend.
Interesting. So here's one from Appreciative in You. I finally know what I want in a partner, manifesting a partnership or a relationship. When do you see them arriving, please?
I'm not even gonna pull a card right now. I'll pull a card while Fernie's talking,
Okay.
to just see if we can get some guidance. But appreciation in you, first off, that is awesome. It takes so long to know what we want and what we put into. Um, Change your idea around when will it arrive. It's an active process.
Mm,
You're going to have to actively be out there. You're going to have to actively put yourself out there. And unfortunately, it's a lot of testing the waters, and it's probably a lot of awful first dates. Baby, raise your hand. A lot of bad first
yeah.
dates. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so important to know what you want in a partner and hold on to that. Um, I myself was losing faith in it, and then I met somebody really special. Um, and it happened when I least expected it. Maybe it was manifesting, I don't know, but it's also, I mean, there's sort of two ideas here, that if you just let go of the idea and just trust that it'll happen, that things will come. That sometimes we try to force things,
Mm,
and it keeps us from looking at the things that are right in front of us sometimes. And then there's the whole other side of it is keep the thing in your head that you want. I think it's just sort of like hold on to know what you want, focus on what you want, but don't work so hard to reach out and try to find it or try to like jam it in and like, well, maybe this person is like, well, most of it works. So like the parts that don't work are fine. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. I had when I was dating, I had what I called a lot of orange flags. I was like, well, it's not quite a red flag. Like, okay, he doesn't believe in monogamy. Like that's well, that's a red flag. But like, oh, he's yeah, he kind of thinks that pulling tarot is stupid and I'm an idiot. Like that feels like an orange flag. Actually, no, that is a red flag. Or
Yeah.
like he doesn't like animals. Like he hates dogs. Like who
Yeah.
hates dogs?
People who don't like animals,
So
or at least that's never sat well with me.
yeah, people who don't like animals, people who don't like babies or kids. I mean, you don't have to want them. People who are rude to service people, bye bye. But anyway, I'm getting way off topic here. We're trying to do quick answers tonight. Um, it's so important, and I'm so proud of you for knowing what it is you want. Keep that in mind, but don't try to jam that idea onto everything and everyone. I don't know, babe. What are you seeing?
Yeah. I do you know if there's something she needs to work through or push through energetically that might be blocking her from having that show up sooner rather than later?
Um, as somebody who for a long time was really looking for partnership in a way that it seemed like everyone else gets, it seems like everyone else around has, and you're like, well, what's wrong with me? Why don't I have it? It becomes that scarcity mindset. And so then we start accepting less than what we want and what we deserve. And so sometimes it is just like, it's important to know and let it go. It is, um, it's a thing. As an actor, like it was so part of our training, like learn the lines exactly as they're written, so that when you get on stage, you don't have to try so hard to say the lines, that it's just like you can live in the character and try to react in real life so that you know them so well that you don't need to keep it on your mind constantly and you can be present to life around you. That's part of it, is being present to life around. But I'm talking a lot. You talk. I'm gonna pull a card and see if we can get an action here.
Um, I think I think that you can be a control freak, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with being a control freak. Being a control freak sometimes is a defense mechanism when you are tired of being hurt or you're trying to protect yourself from being hurt, because not having control of the circumstances produces a risk. And I get that because and I know Poppy doesn't like that I use the word control freak, but it is what it is in my opinion. And I don't think there's anything wrong with being a control freak because I've gotten a lot of shit done being a control
Well,
freak.
no,
So
you wouldn't, would you?
so um, I think you're going to get an opportunity to practice on someone in 7 months. What I mean by practice on someone, I practice on a lot of guys before I found the fruit that had the sweetest taste to it. So
Oh, nice save. Nice
thanks,
save.
thanks, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So practice makes perfect. But the thing about it is, even though you think you know what you want, that's in your head. The universe is like, yeah, but you keep acting the same in the way that you feel and the way that you react. So why would I take what you're thinking as seriously as what you're doing and what you're reacting to emotionally or energetically? So you need to work that out of your system, which means if you know what you want, you need to be absolutely clear of what you don't want. And the only way to be absolutely clear with what you don't want is if you make conscious choices with choosing differently than what you don't want. And sometimes that can show up in a mixed bag of goods, meaning that, oh, I want some fruit. So you get a bag of you get a bag of stuff and there's fruit in there, but there's also like, tin foil and a box of, Cracker Jacks. Like, what the hell are you going to do with that? So you need to work through the energy that you think you know what you want. Two things around this: don't focus on the list of what you think this person needs to look like or be like. Focus on the experience that they would elicit in you. Because if you focus on the experience that they elicit in you, you're taking control away from yourself and you're allowing the universe to give you a great version of what will fulfill that. So before I met Poppy, I was watching a lot of videos on TikTok. I even sent him some TikToks of couples who were playing with each other and having fun and, giving each other a hard time for fun, but they were enjoying each other, playing jokes and stuff. But there was a certain type of guy or personality that I was really vibing with. Someone who's silly, can be
White guy.
goofy. What?
White guys.
Oh, of course. Well, yeah, but I have a thing for. I mean, I have a thing for just hot guys in general, but I have a special thing for the colonizers, right? So yes, there was a type that I was really into, and I would watch videos of couples playing with each other or giving each other a hard time, and I would allow myself to feel that with them, and I enjoyed that, and I kept holding on to those feelings, and I would keep doing that and feeding that because I didn't need to sit there and think about what didn't work with my ex or what didn't work with my prior ex or what didn't work with past relationships or what didn't work with these guys I was dating that it didn't work with long term. I didn't need to sit there and like give myself a hard time about that. I did need to reassess those things, think about it, understand what I learned, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, but move forward. Keep dating, keep pushing yourself out there. And then I kept eliciting those feelings inside of me. And then this one showed up. And those are the feelings that I get to have quite often now. And that's how I manifest. But I think you'll get a practice, a practice person, partner, in 7 months. That doesn't mean that you need to make that work. It just means I feel that's a great practice opportunity for you to clear out the old stuff and really get clearer so you can get closer to what you're looking for.
Three of Coins. You see them? They're building a cathedral, but they're building it together. So it's not something you cannot build this place, this higher place, this place of security and sanctuary, and this higher, beautiful sanctuary. You need help. You have to do it with someone. You guys have to work together. Now, maybe that is working together with this potential partner. Maybe that's working together with friends and collaborating around something as the action of, like, do your friends know that you are what you're looking for, like setups and things. I'm thinking like actually just practical matter, because meeting people these days, it is hard. It's all online. It's all on apps. So get out there. And that was the Three of Coins. So it's about your earth. So do something grounded. What can you do to ground yourself to build something for a lasting foundation, something concrete, something tangible? Get out in the world, volunteer, play on a team, join a book club, do something where you expand your community. If you haven't come across the person that you have vibed with, trust in your community, rely on each other, and bring all the parts together to be able to build this higher structure of lasting permanence.
Yeah.
But again, proud of you for knowing what you want. That is a hard thing for us all to know. And once you operate from that place of power, you got this. You got this.
Okay, Lorena, I know you have a question about your immigration status. Can you be more specific? I'm assuming you're asking if I see you getting approved for the next level. Is that what you're asking me? What are you asking? Because that immigration status means a lot of things. Okay, yes. So got it. She's waiting for. So I'm going to answer this psychically and tell you what I think or what I know about it. Papa, if you want to tune into like the energy around what this is going to bring about for her or what's coming in around this, if there are any blocks or things.
So I pulled a card because I think I saw that she was asking earlier for a card for this. It's the Wheel of Fortune, which is unfortunately, it's one of those, it's not a clear answer for me because the wheel is going to keep spinning, which tells me that it's going to feel, first off, it's a big card about fate and destiny and big things that are beyond our powers to control. Things are beyond your power to control. You can control how you react to them. You can hope for the best, but like the wheel is just going to keep turning. And unfortunately, sometimes the wheel turns and grinds us down, and sometimes we're on top of the wheel. And just know, I don't have a good answer for you in that way. It's a big, powerful spirit card, but it is also a reminder to us that we are just tiny little ants in the face of something much bigger than us rolling down around us.
Yeah. Also, I will say, so here's what I'm thinking about this, Mama. I keep seeing you applying under one name, but then I feel like something changes and then you have to reapply or restart the process either because you didn't follow up the first time and you just let it kind of expire, or you have to reapply, but there's a change in the name when you apply again, which causes some delays and then you having to like get that clarified. Did you already apply before and then you let it expire, you let it lapse, the time for the follow-up lapse, and then you have to reapply? You had to reapply, but now it's a different name you've reapplied under? Yes. So she says yes. Okay. So what I think about this, because I want to, people think I'm making this up. Oh, oh, there we go.
Oh,
Let's see what happened.
I don't know. You
Oh,
decided two is better than one?
there we go. Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay. So coming back to what I was just doing. Yes. So um, she said yes. Okay. So yeah. So what I'm thinking, Mama, is I think that because you kind of let it lapse, you essentially what you did is you've kind of double applied in a way, which is where it's going to get confusing, because what I think is going to happen is in the system, it's going to have two separate accounts or two separate things. One that was the old one that lapsed, and then one that's the new one that's under a different name, which may not connect to the old one. So you may have to first, you may need to get an immigration attorney to look into this. They are updating the systems also at the same time. This is a whole freaking mess because they're upgrading systems while they're also trying to like simplify the process. And then they're also just going in with like a machete, and it ain't working. So this is why there are a lot of, what we're going to hear about, and I predict this, what we're going to hear about is people who have missed whatever their status is. There's going to be a lot of errors in the system because of mistakes that have been made with the system that they've put in place. So what the status is going to be might not match up to what the actual process has been for them, and the information that is actually there to validate that they've been doing everything. This is I know people are seeing everything that's going on in the news, and I'm sick of it. I'm totally sick of it. By the way, if you're in here and you're a racist bitch, you're in a Hispanic Mexican person's like live. I don't know what the fuck you're doing in here if you have an issue with Hispanic or Mexican people. I don't know what you're doing in here. Okay. I can call myself an American because I've been here for a hot minute. I'm also native, but at the same time, I'm a whole lot of things. It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm here, you're in my chat room. What the fuck are you doing in here if you have issues with people like me? Gay, Mexican, American. That's a problem for you. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, wasting your time, using up my energy when it's just other people are deserving of it. I'm just going to make that abundantly clear because I have no room for the bullshit. Absolutely zero room for the bullshit. So, and you will be one of the few in here that are stupid enough to open your mouth over something. You can report me for bullying. I call it report me for being a decent human being with integrity who operates with kindness and compassion for other human beings and an understanding of the world that we live in and how the law actually works. That's what I consider myself to be. So I just want to make that abundantly clear. With that being said, because I've put that out there. So part of the reason why people are getting dragged off the street or are being taken is because of mistakes in the system that have alerted them of something that is inaccurate to the actual status. That is happening. On top of that, so some of these, because it's not like they're saying, hey, I'm going to show up to this random person's house and drag them out. They've been given information, but the systems are not compatible, or they're not clicking and they're not communicating properly, and shit has been messed up in the systems. So it's misidentifying people and turning them into targets, and they're not asking questions. They're just dragging people because they have a quota to meet. And for every person they put behind bars in a concentration camp, they get money for it. So that's what's happening. And we'll hear more about this in time. But to come back to you, Mama, I feel like I feel like the tarot card feel like I'm just going around and around. This is what it's going to feel like. Yeah. When he was showing me the Wheel of Fortune, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, it's because she's going to be going around and around in circles. And this is just like ongoing cyclical. It's going to feel like you're not getting anywhere because, again, there's miscommunication in the system with the immigration authorities. And that's where a lot of issues are happening. So you need to, I'm going to recommend you get an attorney to look into the old account you originally filed under and then under the new name that you filed under, because there has been a change, but there's something there that isn't clicking, which might cause a weird glitch or a holdup in the system. And that's where I feel it can come across in a way where there's two separate things that have happened when in fact it's not. And if you can get that clarified, I feel like you'll get your answer back sooner rather than later. I do think you're going to be dealing with this in October heavily. I also think you end up having to get some affidavits or some additional documentation that verifies or validates some things, and you have to submit that right around October. I do see you getting good news in February, but you still have to wait until May or June until that is like confirmed. So it's going to take some time, but you're going to need some help. Yeah. All right. Going over here.
Good luck, dear.
Yeah. Let's see. Um, okay. Here's one. Rosa Hernandez. Fernie and Blaine, I had a bad dream of a bad spirit trying to take me. What does this mean? What's the energy around feeling taken by negativity or negative energy around her? Are there any blocks or anything that you're thinking about?
I mean, so I think before I even pull a card, that it sounds like there's a lot of anxiety going on, and it might be showing up in this sense, in that it is haunting you. Um, I have also been more recently been made to where, or at least to we bring in, we attract, we find the energy that we want. And that, even I was watching another spiritual creator on TikTok today, actually a friend of Fernie's, and it was the thing of that if you are looking for bad spirits, you'll find bad spirits. And if you're looking for good spirits, you'll find good spirits. And that it is our energy that tips the coin either way on that one. Um, but it sounds like you're having a lot of fears and anxieties, and particularly if they're coming in the night, that never feels good. Um, so
Mm.
hanged one, which is the lesson with the hanged one, and it's not immediately clear in this image, but the hanged man is about wisdom through suffering. In a lot of ways, it asks us to um, see ourselves, our perspective, see our lives from a completely new perspective. This card, I'll try to find it in the other deck, but this card is, it's the man who hangs upside down, um, and he's not necessarily in a lot of pain. It looks like he's in pain. So what I take this to mean is that you might have to suffer through some bad spirit, some bad dreams, some fear, some anxiety that comes at night, which is always tough. And it's always the worst in the middle of the night, because that is when I was almost afraid that the Nine of Swords was going to pop up. But you need to confront, you need to figure out, face what it is that you're feeling anxious and fearful about, and try to see it from a new perspective. And it may involve a period of suffering, a period of pain. Part of the hangman is to just let go of that. We were talking about this at the beginning. Let go of control. Just acknowledge that you're afraid of something. Something is making you feel afraid and fearful, and it's visiting you in the night, and you are bringing that energy in. And that's not just, it's not shaming you or anything. Like, that's what we do. That's a human, it's part of our human experience. But what is it that is making you feel afraid? What is it? If you can see this image, it's the earth from the moon. What is it that's making you feel so far away from the earth right now, in the darkness, alone out there in the dark? Face that. If you can figure out and face and begin to confront that, then you will begin to repel the bad energies and bring in the better ones. Baby, what do you think?
Yeah, I think you're the moon and the earth in that picture. I think that the spirit, the dark spirit or the bad spirit in your dream is actually you. I think that you are going through a lot of anger, resentment. You're feeling attacked from different areas in your life by different people who either don't get you, don't understand you, or they just don't know. how you they don't know how to make sense of what you're offering. And in a way, part of that is because you might not be communicating effectively what your boundaries are, what you're needing, what you're struggling with, or what you are no longer willing to support or sustain around you. So I feel like you are feeling attacked by the people in your life, either because they are just that different from you, they don't get you, or you're not communicating effectively enough and you've allowed yourself to be a target. Because of this, I feel like you are angry and resentful. There's a lot of history that you also haven't worked through or healed that is still weighing on you. And it's this idea of like when we have had experiences with people in the past, never worked through that, never healed that, never really like addressed it, and then we're feeling that way again. We're building a case against them from other things that are coming up in our lives that are separate and removed from that past historical experience. I feel like that's what's happening. So the bad spirit or the bad spirit in your dream is this version of energy that is actually you, but it's represented by what you're struggling with internally and how you're not standing up for yourself, and you're not feeling protected, and you're feeling vulnerable and open, and things aren't getting worked out. So that's what I believe.
And if I can even just follow up the like what, and not that you have to answer this, but the what would what makes this spirit bad? What makes it feel like this in your dream? What made it feel bad? And then what would happen if it did take you? Because partly what I'm reading into this question is there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of of like maybe it's the don't want to, because yeah, the bad spirit I think is absolutely the what we call the shadow parts of us, the darker parts of us that feel angry, that feel fearful, that feel anxious, that feel insecure, that feel resentful. And so if that is resonating with you, if that rings true, what about that bad spirit feels bad? And what would happen if it had taken you? Where would that have gone? Because in trying to resist it, you're giving it more energy. Like sometimes, again, hangman, just let go. If this dream should come to you again, what would happen if you can just try to let yourself get taken there, knowing that it's a dream and knowing that it's not the reality, but it's this fighting against our circumstances, it's this fighting against our shadow parts that creates this tension and this drama and this conflict within us that then feeds into it. So I pulled a card around like what can you do around this fear and anxiety, and it's death, which is
Mm,
not death. So I
yeah.
don't want you. It's about transformation. It's about what can you cut away from yourself?
Yeah.
What part of you needs to die for the next chapter to begin? What are you holding back from? What is keeping you held back? And maybe it's not you, maybe it is external circumstances. Maybe it's a bad relationship, maybe it's bad friendships, bad job. What is the thing that is at the core of that bad spirit, and what makes it bad? And if you can begin to see it in that way, it will lose its power over you.
Yeah.
And also, if it takes you, like, what's the worst thing? Like, how does that change you? Begin to, I mean, it's just total FDR. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, which is, of course, just a useless thing to say when someone is feeling scared shitless in the middle of the night about this.
Hmm.
But it's also partly, it gives it power in the middle of the night. And so, how can you begin to just, this big evil rope, how do you begin to unspool this big evil rope into its tiny little threads and understand it better so that it doesn't have this hold over you?
Yeah. Yeah. And just let yourself be a bitch. Embrace the shadow side. Like, it's okay. It took me a while to get used to doing that and to being that way. So, and it's actually, you find a balance once you give yourself permission to just like really like let loose and like go off when you need to. So be it. So be it.
Because it's a self-protective device. It is anger is what protects us. It's
Yeah.
what sets anger defines a boundary. And so if you are afraid to tap into or to let that take over, it can be holding you back from growth and transformation.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next, we've got um,
Baby, we're the best because, and I say this a little ironically, is that we're both such Tauruses. We love to have the last word on everything, even when we're not fighting. We just love to have the last word.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with what I have to say. It's only going to add value. I mean, the box is already made out of gold. Why not add a cookie next to it? You know, it's like, why not?
Yeah,
Ooh, now I want
thank you.
cookies.
I know
Mm,
now I want cookies too. Why did you do that?
I don't know.
Can
Um,
anyone send us some cookies? Just TikTok cookies, YouTube cookies, whatever it is.
let's see.
Wait, that sounds like I'm begging. I'm not begging, don't, because I know there is. I guess there are things. I don't know. I just hit my 100th follower on TikTok today.
Oh, cool! Yay,
Well,
y'all! Can you go? Can
no,
if y'all are not on TikTok, could you get your asses over to TikTok and follow him on TikTok, please? We're needing to get him to 1,000, please. Thank you, thank you.
and Insta.
And Instagram, yeah, please, thank you. We got to get those numbers up. I know some of you are lazy enough that you just don't want to tap that button. I know you can tap that damn button because you can tap that button every time you come up in here every single week trying to get your question answered. So I know you can tap a button. I'm just saying.
Thank you. Thank you. Typed in cookies. I say that, but I've got a giant ass chocolate bar in my refrigerator right now that is going to be all over my face when this live is over because
Uh,
I have no self control.
so hi, is there a good future with me and Kyle despite him being in the Navy overseas for 3 years? I adore him, but I'm nervous about the distance. What's the energy around that dynamic?
Well,
What's the block
come
there?
sit down next to old. Come sit down next to old Auntie Blaine. So long distance is hard. Long distance relationships suck at times. Uh, Long distance relationships have not worked out well for me in the past until this one. And this one's not going to be long distance for much longer. Um, so I haven't pulled a card. I haven't even touched a deck yet. I want this good future. This is up to you and Kyle. It depends on where this is not a thing that I can pull a card. I mean, of course I will, and I'll try to give you some guidance in that way. But it takes work. And sometimes love is not enough. And sometimes lust is not enough. It takes work, it takes commitment, it takes good communication. And I appreciate that that may be hard with him in the Navy and that you may not be able to get a hold of him. You guys may not be able to communicate when you need to, and it may be strained. I don't know how often you'll get to see each other. That is important as well. It's it's hard, and he does have this commitment. Are there ways this between Fernie and I, it would never have worked out if we weren't able to travel. And most of being able to travel is him honestly like footing the bill. He's bought me a lot of plane tickets because we are in different financial places right now. And if we didn't see each other regularly, this would not have worked. But we made the decision, sorry, we made the decision right away that we wanted to keep at it. And part of keeping at it is having some difficult talks at times. It is building good communication skills. It is it's taking care of each other, and it's also taking care of ourselves. So if you're not getting your needs met, if he's not getting his like you guys just you have to both want it. And I'm not going to say that it's not worth it and that I don't, but partly it's not about what will happen. It's what you guys want to make happen. And you have to be on the same page with that. Maybe what are you seeing?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get off my
Um,
high horse and pull a card or two.
well, also, I mean, first of all, you got to be smart with the cost for travel because I ain't flying first class. I'm waiting for that $39 one way sale on Southwest Airlines.
It's
And
real true.
a round trip, I might have to have a layover in Phoenix or in Las Vegas, but that's okay. Like it's only an hour or so. So I before this man walked into the picture, I was on every single dating app. I was on Hinge, I was on Tinder, I was using Grinder because I'm not ashamed. I'm sex positive. So
I was using
I was using everything, but I was paying for the gold one. Like I wasn't just getting the free version of it. I wasn't getting the silver one. I didn't like ads. I wanted full access to everything. So I was paying full access for all the apps. That alone, because apps are expensive, that alone was about $200 a month. guess what? A round trip plane ticket using Southwest Airlines was less than 150. And that was with taxes. I was like, I could either pay for $200 for an app to meet people locally and see if something clicks, or this person who I've already clicked with, why not just make a trip of it? I can work wherever. I'm remote. Let me go visit him and get my ass over to Portland. Let me bring him over to me, because who doesn't love Santa Fe? So it can be really affordable if you're smart about it. Don't think that I was like flying first class everywhere. So I'm gonna need y'all to calm down, because I know y'all are thinking like, oh, I can't afford that. I can't. Like, calm down. Like, I know not everybody has the same financial situation that I do. I've been good, but also I bust my ass. I really do bust my ass. I mean, I do a lot of readings, private appointments, and some of that is just to pay for my mom's expenses, because she cost me a good $2,500 a month in her expenses with her assisted living facility. So that is way more expensive than a $150 round trip ticket to another city. So just saying. Okay. With that being said, what's the question? Oh, like, what's the question? I think it could work, but he might want to pull away from you because two things. One is, I think he's got some insecurities about himself. And even though he might talk a big game, I think that he's like a little boy that's scared and he feels like he's not good enough for you. He might try to act like he is, but I don't think he actually feels that way. And because of that, if he feels insecure or he feels like you can find someone better, he might automatically try to like create a drama or issue around it or pull away. So he might do that a couple of times, because if you're still trying to work through things and make it work, that's going to scare him more than if you know than anything else. Also, um, it is going to be a struggle, because I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. I feel like it is going to be a struggle because there is about to be either a promotion or a shift in his assignment in the next 2 or 3 months, which might trigger him to have to rebase somewhere else. So I don't think he's going to be um, where he is now. I think he's going to be stationed elsewhere. It may make it easier for you to go to him. I wouldn't say go and like relocate or move right away, although I'm the kind of person to do that. But I would say like travel, spend some time together, keep working on things. And then when you get to a good, comfortable place and you've had enough time together, then you can take the next step. I think it could work, but he might get scared off a couple of times for his own issues.
Okay, so Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is generally about leaving a bad place for a better place, but you're not there yet. But I want you to look at the image. There's two people, they're on a boat. And so I do see that there is a path together. But look, he's putting in a lot of work here. You're potentially one of you is doing the work and one of you is going to be riding along. But I also want you to pay attention to the swords in the picture, because swords are not around love and emotional strength. It's more about how you think and how you communicate, and it can be around mental health and fears and anxieties. So I'm saying this is going to be a lot about how you guys communicate. It's not going to be, this isn't a fire card. This isn't about your passion. This isn't a water card, even though there is a lot of water in there. So it's not about your emotional connection and your relationship. This is all about, going to have to be about communication. Y'all are going to have to do it together, and it's going to be work. And it's going to feel like rough seas. You will eventually get to a better place. But this also could mean that you're going to move on. He's going to move on to somewhere you guys are both going to move on to separate places. Don't let yourself be, I'm sorry, this is me just being anti and getting up all in your business, but
She wants you to get all up in her business.
no, don't be the thing. Don't be his. Some people just like to collect people in their lives, and so don't be his, like, oh, I got a girlfriend at home, but I never see her, I never talk to her, we never communicate. And part of a relationship, particularly a long distance relationship, a stressful relationship, a traveling relationship, it's only going to work if you can be together in person so often. And it's not going to be enough, but you can't just be like FaceTime. It cannot be a FaceTime relationship. It cannot entirely be a digital relationship, because when y'all do get together in the same physical space, y'all won't know what to do with each other, and there will be so much communication and so many thoughts and so many fears and so much that y'all ain't going to be talking about. So I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm saying it's not. It's got its obstacles and it's got its challenges. But so what? I mean, and normally I'd be like, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's plenty of seamen in the Navy. Yep, I said it.
Ah,
But but it works. It works with him and I in a way that I never thought. I've been through long distance relationships before. They take work and you drift apart unless you are sharp as a fucking sword about how you all communicate. And you have to be sharp as steel and twice as hard, because otherwise it can leave you both just trapped and sort of, I'm going to use an adrift. Yeah, I used a fucking ocean pun. You'd be adrift in that ocean. So I want the best for you. I want the best for you, and I want the best for Kyle. I don't know him, and maybe you guys are together, but you're gonna have to do it together, and you're gonna have to get real clear with each other, and you're gonna have to make it work.
Yeah. Um, Here's a mediumship one. So Brandy, okay, I'm gonna need you to respond back to what I'm saying. If you can type super fast as quickly as you can, because I need some validation with what I'm seeing. I don't know if this is your grandma coming through, but I'm definitely getting a female coming through. What's really interesting is immediately as soon as I was getting this female coming forward, I was having like this whole sports vibe with this person. Like they were like rooting for like it's almost like if I'm waiting for like the Super Bowl or I'm waiting for like the game and I'm like rooting. So I don't know if there has, yeah, thank you. She's like super fast. So I don't know if there was a thing with her and certain sports teams or certain types of sports that was shared, like a shared interest, or if something recently happened that she's trying to acknowledge around a game that someone has just been able to like do well with, and then she's trying to bring attention to that. But that's the first thing that I'm seeing. So I don't know if that's connected to the grandma you're referring to, or if this is another woman that is trying to acknowledge this. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? I'm reminded of this couple that I met years ago when I first came to Santa Fe. One of the few first trips I came, there was this couple who had llamas. They had like a llama farm, and we had to go into their house because they were gonna like take us to the farm. And both of them were sitting in the recliners with their chairs, and they had their little tables with their little sandwiches that they were both eating, and they were eating these like sandwiches and chips. And I was just like, and they were watching a game, and I'm reminded of these people. So okay, so there's something there that I'm seeing with this female. So I've got a female around you who either had an interest in football or was really into sports and might have even liked to like do betting on things. Um, okay, so and this person, like I said, they might have liked to bet on things. I'm also thinking of a female. I keep thinking of. I also keep seeing these box lunches or these box. I keep seeing these box lunches like whenever someone can't go and get their own food and I'm going to bring them like a box of food, or they like a certain type of food from a certain restaurant and I'm bringing them this thing from a certain restaurant. Um, no, I don't think that's, no, I don't going to University UTSA. No, I don't think that's it. This, there's an L connection to this female. I don't know if this is her name or if this is how she's connected to you, but the L that I keep, it's an L name that's connected to this person. The names that I'm thinking of are going to be names that I can affiliate with or associate with, but I keep thinking of L names like Lauren or Lori or Laura. I keep thinking of names like that. Do you know of anyone that has that name that's connected to you? It doesn't matter if they're alive. This may be how they're connected to you. This female, she's showing me sports memorabilia. I'm also seeing this cup that's like a tumbler with like a sports team. And she's showing me these boxed meals or these meals like whenever someone can't get their like they can't someone bringing them food from their favorite place. um she also might have had issues with this lady that I'm connecting with. Is showing me issues with when they're dealing with sepsis or when they're dealing with like an infection that starts to spread into the blood that's being caused or coming from like either the kidneys or the liver. But I'm thinking of like it almost reminds me of cirrhosis of the liver, but I'm thinking of like when there's like the infection in the blood that starts to affect other systems and may also start to affect the heart, because I keep thinking that they might have ultimately passed from fluid in the chest or heart failure. Okay, who is Lena? Okay, you know both Alora and Aloran. Okay, here's what I'm gonna say. There is this woman who's connecting to all these pieces. So for me, I'm not thinking this is the grandma you're wanting to me to tune into. I think this is another female that's like wanting to make a point of it. She was really into sports. She had a thing. She I keep seeing as someone you might even like to have a recliner or like live like use a recliner chair. There were these boxed lunches or boxed things that they really had a thing for. They also are connected to the L name. Either that's their name or that's how they're connected to you. They may have died of a form of a combination of sepsis, which would be an infection in the blood. Also, it leading to heart issues or fluid around the heart area, which might have been part of the situation. Um, I also kind of want to expand this into an extended. Is she? Does she connect with all these pieces? This lady might have also been a smoker, but I don't know if she was still smoking at the end of her life. But she might have been a smoker at some point because I'm hearing that hoarseness in a voice. She's kind of funny. She's fun. This lady that I'm thinking about. Okay. Um. Does okay? Does the pieces of the information, all the pieces that I'm telling you, is that connecting with the mom? Do all those pieces align with the mom or the personality or the like the interests, the things that I've been talking about? Does that all connect with her? Okay. Her daughter truly believed it was infection and sepsis, but was never verified and has had a very hard time since. Okay. Um, what's the L name connection? Also, the sports relation might have something to do with the Browns or the Bears. Because I keep thinking of like the B, but like I'm thinking of like the color brown, and I'm thinking of Bears, and there's something there that she's showing me. Yes. Oh my, yes. Okay. Now, what's the L name connection? Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say. Go back over everything that I said, check, and then follow back up with me so that um yeah, so I can show you. She's good. This lady needed to make sure that she came through. She just had happy birthday, so I don't know if we're around a birthday right now within the week or two, because she just said happy birthday. Also, she's acknowledging your grandmother, so I think your grandmother wanted to give her the opportunity to come through because with your grandmother, there's no question that she's with you, but also with the circumstances of her passing and everything like that. Lee, okay, thank you. The name is Lee. Perfect. Okay. Now, your grandmother's around. Your grandmother shows me a rose. I almost want to say, I don't know if she's trying to acknowledge the name rose or there's a special rose that is a picture. And what I mean by that is almost like I keep seeing her, like I keep seeing a picture of her in a rose. So I wonder if there's a rose frame or there's an image of a rose that you have with your grandma that she's showing me her face in. She's also showing me okay, yeah, her daughter's name was Candice Lee, but they call her Lee. Okay, yeah. So your grandma, again, she's showing me an image of a rose and like a face inside of a rose or a rose frame that she's making reference to. She also is there's a bell or a chime that you might have that's associated with her. Also, if you have a weird blinking light or a lamp that's been acting really weird, that's a sign from your grandma that she's around you. So she's also making reference to that as well. Again. Okay. Um, oh wow. Okay. Got it. So the Lee connection. So Lee loves sports, played volleyball, and her kids are very involved. I tell her she is raising Olympic gold medalist. Perfect. There's also remember there's that bear reference because I kept thinking of a brown bear or a bear. I don't know if that's the Colorado bear or like a bear, but there's something there that she also referenced. But your grandma's around. Again, there's a picture of a grandmother inside of a rose, and I'll leave that with you. I also wonder if it's like a rose frame or a piece of metal with a rose that your grandmother's showing me her face. I almost feel like her face is in the rose, so she's showing me something like that. So I'll leave that with you. But go back over what I said, and then if you can validate anything else, that would be great. Okay, mama, but they're around you. But your grandma wanted to let the friends mom come through, so that way she could go ahead and validate for them that she's around them. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I needed to get a mediumship in there. I know that people want to connect with their loved ones, and the problem with connecting with spirits is that it is a time consuming process, and it takes like an interaction, so that way we can get those pieces. We can get that all made sense of. Because it's not an easy thing to do with just a one-sided thing. Okay, here's another one. Oh, actually, this is better. She had a picture in her TikTok because she was on TikTok too doing it too. So okay, there we go. I'm trying to find my artistic niche. Any ideas? I'm not super pulled to anything, but I want to find some creative outlet.
So I can pull a card, obviously, but and I say this with all love and respect. Then maybe creative outlets are not like we create because we're drawn to it. So it's not like something. It's not someone something can just assign to you. Like what do you like doing? Try things. If you don't like, try painting. Maybe you don't like that. Try drawing. Try sewing. Try stained glass. Try or don't or try. I mean, it sounds like you are looking for something else in your life that is fulfilling and maybe you feel like you need to be creative because people are creative. But if you're not drawn to anything, then that's your answer. We don't. I don't. Um, like I know I've come across many people. I read. I love to read. I never used to read nonfiction, only used to read fiction. And then at some point in my life, I was just like, oh, I want to learn more things. So I started reading nonfiction. So now I'll have a nonfiction and a fiction book going. I'll have a couple of books going at once because I like both things. And it shocks me when I meet other readers who are like, oh, I never read fiction in my life. They only read nonfiction. Like, and I was like, well, why don't you like creative fiction? Like, I just don't get into it, so they don't get into it. It's weird to me. I don't understand why they don't get into it, but I can't just be like, "Oh, great, here, read this fiction book." Like, so I'll pull a card, um, but I feel like you're just trying to square peg yourself. Like, what do you want to do? Just do it. Try it. Try things. Um, Six of Cups. Well, that's about like fond times. I mean, boy, if that doesn't track. Six of Cups is about remembering fond times. It's often about old memories, treasuring old times in life. So is this about there was a time in your life when you felt more creative, you felt drawn to something, you enjoyed taking a class with a friend when you were kids, you guys enjoyed painting together or something, and you were having the feeling that you want that back in your life? Honor your inner child, trust your inner child, just try things. It would be my answer right there. I mean, if nothing else, if you want something literal, here's some cups, so try a pottery class. What do you
Mhm.
see, babe?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
actually,
actually was getting the same thought pattern around that. Even though you can be creative, I'm not saying that you can't pursue a thing that you feel you have a connection to or that you feel you can express yourself through. I grew up and I was an artist growing up. I love to draw and sketch and paint, and I mean I was really creative, and I got away from that, and I kind of went in a different direction. Spirituality and doing this became more of my passion, but there's a part of me that always has wanted to reconnect with that part of myself that's creative, and I think Boppy has seen that side of me when we went to a clay like molding class, and he saw me create something. He's like, "The fuck are you doing? Like, you need to be playing with clay." And so, like, it's
I
something
don't.
that I
I hold on, viewing public. That is not in nowhere near what happened. I was like, oh, look at. He was very. No, hold on. No, no, no. Record shows that is not true. He. We both were working on our projects. He was very
you're
engaged in his
orange, babe.
project.
You're
I
orange.
hadn't.
You're
I hadn't
orange.
seen. Well, it
There
just
you go.
happened. I got a tan. So don't let him sell you on these Fernie facts because that just ain't the way it happened. That ain't the way it happened. Sorry, babe. Go on. What?
So I think that you can be creative. I actually think you get more of a kick out of producing things where somebody else has done the legwork with creating the piece or creating whatever and then bringing it together to storytell. I think that's actually what your niche is. I think your niche is storytelling, not by writing the story, but by bringing the pieces together and it creating, there we go, and it creating a story. And so when you think of someone who like does low budget production with like short stories, or they're shooting a small clip of something, or they are, because I keep thinking of you as an agent bringing talent together and producing stories. That's what I keep thinking of. So I don't think that your creativity would come from like the traditional arts. I think your creativity comes from producing stories using art in different forms and fashions. That's what I think your niche is. And so I think you would get more validation from that because you would feel like you're not focusing on like the nitty gritty details, and instead you're focusing more on like is my like I'm trying to make sure something's not on fire. Making sure that you would get more of a kick out of seeing a fulfilled project or fulfilled thing, bringing all the pieces together, bringing all the elements, all the talent together, versus creating something that's going to be time consuming. I think that's your skill, and I think you need to lean into that.
Knowledge. Be teachable. Take a class. Take some classes.
Yeah,
See what feels good. It sounds like producing. I mean, Fernie's describing producing. So
yeah, producing.
which
Yeah,
is hard to describe what producing is because it is creative, but it's more about like bringing the right people together, bringing the right creative people together, and letting them. It's building. It's creative and it puts collaborative people together in the same room and letting them do the things that they're really good at, and knowing that you helped create part of something larger.
yeah.
But
Um,
try things.
yeah. I mean, you can try things, but I mean, I really do think you're the producer. Um, Okay, I have a follow up from the mediumship. Just want to pop that in here real quick. Um, she followed up. Yes, Lee lived in Colorado, and her mom went there often with. Perfect. So there's definitely that Colorado sports. That makes perfect sense to me. And then the other part of that was Brandy's mom's name is Rose. So I think your grandma is saying she's with Rose, like she's like with your mother. So if your mother's alive, she's just letting her know she's with her, or she's acknowledging the picture of her with your mom. But there's two parts to that because earlier I was getting the Rose, but I was getting like when you think of a two-part name like a Rosemary or a Rose, I kept seeing this two-part Rosemary, and I was like, okay, is this a name? And then I kept thinking of actually her face in a rose. So I was trying to figure out if your mother, I wonder if your mom has a metal like pendant or something that's connected to her mom that also has this rose association with it, or if she's just acknowledging being with your mom, Rose, being with Rose in Rose, and then also this idea of I kept thinking of that Rosemary name. So I'm curious what the full name is for mom, because I earlier was thinking of like a Rosemary, like a two-part name like that, and not just Rose. But that makes sense that she would be acknowledging your mom. So that's interesting. Okay. Um, one more.
Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, she's like, there's so many options. Thank you so much, but there's so many options. Like you just got to pick something and try it. You won't know until you try something. But I really do think it's going to be production based.
I guess what is, well, while you're looking for the next one, what is it, you clearly you have a need, that you have an itch that wants to be scratched. What's behind the itch? Is it something to fill time? Is it that you don't like, what
Is
is
a
motivating that
is that a yeast
desire?
infection? Yeah. Like.
Whoa, 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 Ben. Let's keep it
uh,
above board, please. But yeah, what is, 'cause it seems pretty urgent, or it just seems like you don't know what's out there, and so there's like, are you feeling like, well, other people do this, I should be doing this? Like, what is behind the question? Because creativity just sort of, it just kind of comes to us. We do the things that we're sort of drawn to. So what are you, or just what are you feeling drawn to? Try some things. Just because you take one painting class, let's say, or a writing class, doesn't mean that if you don't like it that you have to keep doing it. Just, you just know, like, okay, that's not fulfilling the need, that's not scratching the itch that I have. But where's that itch coming from?
yeah. Got it. Here's one. Tristan. So she's wanting to know about her job. She got applied for a new job. I have an interview Wednesday. Do you see me getting it, or even liking it if I do get it, or help me see where my career is going? What's the energy around career? What kind of work? What's the driving factor, the block around career, life's work?
I mean, so what I'm hearing in the question as I'm shuffling the cards
Hmm.
is is this your career?
No.
Is this interview for a career, or is this a job in the meantime? Because
This
both are
job.
fine. But like
This.
career, you should sort of want to, sorry, I won't say you should want to know, because I have struggled with that question for a long time, and it's a very hard question. Sometimes it's okay to just have a job while you figure out the other things. Um, and so I need my old man glasses.
She
So
said
as
it
far
can
as the
turn
interview
into
on
one.
Wednesday, again, I'm going to go back to, it's we have, and I know, and for those of you out here with us last time, Fernie yelled at me for how I handled some of the questions from last time. In
I did
that, it's
not
in
yell
the
at
way,
you. I did not yell.
he was vicious. He was awful. It was
Oh.
terrible. I needed to see a whole team of therapists around it. But in the way some of the questions are asked, in that there is, like, that it's being decided without your say so. You have so much more control over your lives. You have so much more choice than you're giving yourself credit for. I say this to Tristan is great. I say this to everyone. So in the idea of it can turn into one, well, do you want it to? Is this something that's interested in you? And much like the question around creativity, try this job. If you don't like it, then that's good. That's good to know. Then know that that's not the right path for you. But also know that there's not going to be one magic golden path for all of us. We all go through many different parts. The hardest part is learning to listen to ourselves and being like, you know what? I actually don't like this. Or you know what? I actually hear the things about this job that I actually do like. I want to pursue this further down the line. Um, but let's deal with the first around the anxiety around the job interview on Wednesday, because that is very concrete and that's coming up. Oh dear. Oh boy. Well, that is so that's the 8 of swords, which I love
Hmm.
for this question, because the 8 of swords is about feeling trapped. It's about believing that we are trapped, being blind to feeling, and we are surrounded by all these swords. But like, look at this image. It's just the rope is just very loosely tied around this person. They're not trapped. We feel sometimes in life that we are trapped by our circumstances. We feel blind to the ways in which we can free ourselves. But this is also all about fear. And I'm not going to deny that there's some fear or there's some anxiety or there's some I don't know around this. And I would encourage you, as far as an action, use the sword, get clear on what you think. Swords, again, it's about our mental realm, how we think, how we see truth, how we communicate. So be steel around it. Sharpen your steel and figure out what it is. That's why I'm thinking about leaving my job now. I want to take control of. I'm tired of. Yeah. Well, first off, I would say I'm reading this as you're putting it. I said that to my mom. I'm tired of feeling like I can't do better for myself. Well, if that is what your mom, I don't know. This is what I'm reading into it. If that's what your mom's saying to you, then respectfully, fuck her. Don't listen to that, because that's the kind of shit that keeps us trapped in our minds and lets all of those thoughts in there. You, my dear, are in control of your own life. I don't.
I
I
don't think
hope you
that's
have a
her.
lovely relationship.
I don't think that's what her
I hope
mom
you have a
said.
lovely relationship. Well, I said that to my mom with all those exclamation points. Tells me that she had to. I'm reading it as she had to argue that to her mom,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
that maybe her mom is urging the way of caution. Take the job. Take the what we believe around jobs and scarcity mindset, and it is a tough job market, and it is fucking tough. But you have to figure this out.
I
And I don't mean you have to figure this out like there's some right answer.
yeah.
You just take steps. Go to this job. If you need this job, then by all means go full out balls to the wall to try to get this job on Wednesday. And you can control how you do in that interview. And if you want the job, take the job. And if you don't like the job, if it's not going to be a good job for you, then it's okay to say no and hold out space for you're not trapped. You have more power than you're giving yourself in this situation. And so, like the creativity thing, try it out. Listen to yourself, learn to hear yourself about what isn't working and what you want to do, and then go for that. It may be slow going, but that's how we get to you're not trapped. This is not a trap. This is a trap of our own making. Sorry, babe, what do you got?
No, I think she was just like expressing to her mom, like, I just want to work and do something, mom. And her mom was like, oh, mija,
Okay.
mija, it's okay, mija. Like, I think that's
Okay.
what that was
Okay.
about. And but yeah,
Then
but
your mom is not going to forgive me for ever saying anything close to that. But if she is, if you feel like she's the one trapping you, she's the one with the blindfold on.
I
Because
think,
sometimes we
yeah,
have to put those boundaries around our parents. I believe me, I love my mom. She's no longer on this earth. I miss her terribly, but she was real good about making me feel like things were choice. I didn't have choices, or like, well, you got to do it because that's like that real
uh,
tough love bullshit, which only becomes like self
yeah,
shaming, and then we get trapped in our own. We get
people,
trapped in our own heads. Sorry,
yeah,
I'll stop.
no, people want to help us, right? But people always think that they know better. But at the same time, they're giving advice
I
from a
beat you to
place. Yeah, sometimes they're giving advice from a place of their own lack, where they don't have. I'm not going to take advice on how to make a bunch of money from someone who like can't even come up with 50 cents to buy a diet coke. Like, I'm not going to take advice from somebody who don't know what the hell they're talking about. And so unless the people you're asking advice for, unless they have built themselves up and they've gotten to a great place in their lives where they're good with their work and they are fulfilled, I wouldn't take anybody's advice. I think that you had an idea of something you wanted to do a while back ago, and then somebody told you that was stupid or that's not going to work, and you listened to them. That's what I think happened. And so, because when I think of you, I'm reminded of myself. When I told everybody that I was going to leave my full time job at Starbucks to do this full time, nobody offered support. Nobody was saying, "Oh yeah, you could totally do this." Oh yeah, yeah. No, I didn't get that from anybody. Everybody was like, my cousin was like, "Are you sure you want to leave a full-time job at Starbucks with benefits for something that's not secure?" I'm like, "You call Starbucks management security? I don't think that's a very secure job. Nothing is secure unless you control what you can do and you have enough understanding of the market or the industry around that thing that you have control over." For me, I loved doing this, but this is not where I started. I initially started with Reiki because I wanted to get into this industry and I was having trouble getting my abilities to work right. And I hadn't been able to access them properly. So I was like, well, I need to do something that's in this industry. So at least I get my foot in the door with whatever it is that I feel a connection to. And it started with Reiki. And once I started doing that, I actually started to see my abilities kick back on and become stronger, and I got control of them. I'm like, oh, okay, I get this. I know how to work this now. And so I made the decision to leave Starbucks. I started doing this. I didn't just quit my job at Starbucks to start doing this. I'm not stupid. I had bills to pay. I had a mortgage to pay for. I had cats to feed. So I wasn't going to just quit my job. What I did was I said no to anything extra other than my full-time job at Starbucks and my appointments in the evening with this. I didn't have any extra time for anything else. I wasn't going to family events. I wasn't going to like parties. I wasn't socializing. I had no life aside from working and working, because this was important to me. And I spent 1 year building up my business and pushing and pushing and pushing. I mean, it got to the point where I was just giving away appointments just so I felt like I was doing this, because remember what I said, eliciting the feelings of the things you want to experience. I was giving away appointments so I felt like I was doing this for a living, and that became the norm. And at some point, people started coming to me and paying me for my time. So it took a process. It wasn't overnight, but it took a year. I built this up and then I left. And even when I left, at that time, my partner was like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust it. This may not work. This may, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. And I'm like, look, if I fall flat on my ass and I mess up and it fails, so be it. I'm the one that has to clean up the mess anyways. So I'm going to try. And if I fail, I fail, but I got to try. And it was worth it for me. I refused to stay stuck at Starbucks. And I feel like you had an idea for something a while back ago that you wanted to do, and you ended up talking yourself out of it because people told you that you couldn't make money doing that, or that wouldn't work for you. Um, yeah. So I also feel, by the way, it does feel like your own business that I kept seeing you getting into. I also kept thinking about like, not necessarily esthetician, which like it had to do with like skin and stuff like that. But I kept thinking of like health and wellness, skin. Like I keep seeing like the inside of a office when they do cosmetic stuff or they do procedures, and I keep seeing all of that. I also keep thinking that you think that it's going to be too much work and effort to have to get a specialized skill and get the training and the certification for that. Yeah, duh, but it's worth it because you're not going to be dealing with this for the next 5-10 years, which is just the same thing you're running into. The job that you're applying to, by the way, I don't think you're going to get it, by the way. But the job that you're trying to get into, it could be a career, but you don't want to do that either. And it's the same shit that you're trying to walk away from because you keep walking into situations. You don't always have the easiest time making friends with females because sometimes you like know how to be blunt and direct, and sometimes you don't know how to edit. You're like me. But you need to use that in a constructive way. So that has become an issue in work environments as well. But I digress. Like, I think you need to talk yourself back into the thing you wanted to do. Just stop bitching and complaining about your job, work it, get your money for your bills, go get your freaking certification, get back to school, get through that program, and then start doing the thing that you actually wanted to do instead of just waiting and waiting and waiting because you're looking for ways to make money and be happy making money. Ain't nobody been happy making money unless you like are stupid and you have an obsession with paper. Like everybody likes what money affords them, and you like security, but you don't feel secure. You're not even happy. You're not even fulfilled. And you're hoping that maybe you're just going to luck out and find the right niche. You can find the right niche job, but then 5 or 10 years later, the economy crashes and that job is gone. Because I know a lot of people who spent a lot of time talking themselves into going and becoming realtors, and they lucked out because they just happened to become realtors when there was a boom in the market, even though they sucked as realtors. And then after the market crashed, or now that it's gone down, they aren't good at real estate. So they haven't been able to make money with real estate because they lucked out the first time because they just happened to be gaining from the experience from what the circumstances were. So in order to survive in this kind of industry, you have to be a damn good realtor to still survive and do well and make money in an industry where people are not buying houses. So I feel like you talked yourself out of something. Let me see what you said, because I'm sure you said a whole lot. Where's she at? Where'd she go? Did you disappear? Did you just like, I can't, I'm being attacked. I'm being attacked. You're not being attacked. I'm telling you what you need to hear. Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to respond because I need a follow up. Where'd she go?
Well, I saw something about that her mom would be the babysitter. Free
Yeah, that's the last
babysitter.
thing I saw. My mom will be a free babysitter, which is good. I mean, if your mom is offering free babysitting is freaking expensive. So if you
Okay.
can get somebody to do it for free, like do it. My baby daddy did that. He kind of makes it where I have to stay where I am. The job I have to work with the baby on my hip, 8 hours a day making crap money. Girl, first of all, you need to stop letting a man run things. I'm tired of that. You've been doing that for so long. I'm sick of that. You need to just be done with that. I'm still here. Okay. So I won't get this job and I should go back to get my cosmetology degree. There you go. So there you go. It's cosmetology. Exactly. Don't let people tell you that that's not a worthy job or that that's not something to be taken seriously, because there are some bitches in this world who need a cosmetologist. Let's just get real. And you can help those people and they need the help. So I'm just saying. And people didn't take my work seriously, but I'm one of the most successful people in my family in every sense of the word. So I proved them wrong, and they get the benefit from vacations coming to my house or going to where I'm going. So girl, you can do it. So stop with the bullshit and stop letting a man tell you what to do. The only difference between you and he is that he's got a penis. That's it. That is really the only difference. You are the one that pushed babies through your legs. That's a lot. That's a bigger skill than having a penis, because that's an easy part. That's the easy thing to do. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. I think I've said enough. I think I said enough. And she said, where's she? Yeah, there it is. There. So y'all know that I ain't making that up, because some of y'all like to, well, I don't see it. I don't, because you on TikTok. You didn't see it on the Instagrams. So, all right, guys, we are done. We are tired and we are going away now. What is this? And let's see what? And you're right with the females. I'm not a yes, ma'am friend. I will correct you, but not too disrespectful. I will tell you when you're in the wrong. I know, and that's what I'm saying. People take you. They don't understand where you're coming from, because you mean well, but also like sometimes you know how to cut a bitch, and some people are balloons. They pop. You're popping a lot of people, so be careful with the way you're connecting with people. Okay.
Also, some people just don't know how to respond to honest communication and honest feedback,
Yeah.
and that skill to be able to cut through some bullshit.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining in. We will be back maybe next week. So when we're on, we're on. But if you want to get a reading private session, down here, you see our websites. Go to our websites, fernandomarone.com or blainepatricksmith.com. You can book a one-on-one there. Blaine just added an additional option for working with people on issues and challenges and trying to like process things and push through blocks. So there's a new option there that can help with some of that as well. So check that out. Also go sign up for our newsletters as well. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, because we're on all of them. And with all the craziness in the world, one's going down, the other one's going up. Just make sure you're following us on all of them, so that way that you don't miss out. But thanks again, and we will see y'all next time.
Everyone who stayed with us. Sorry if we didn't get to you tonight. We'll try better. We'll try to get to you next time. But we appreciate you joining us and being vulnerable and letting these two get up in your business. So
Bye.
good night, everybody. Bye.